You are now live on Channel 8 and YouTube.
All right, thank
Excellent.
you.
I'll call the meeting to order. And let's start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We'll just take care of the minutes to get those out of the way.
Charlie, you're present.
What's-
If you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you.
Excellent, thanks. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
And a second? Got a second on that? Any discussion? All those in favor?
All right,
Kirk?
Yes.
Oh, you probably
yeah,
abstained
yeah.
because,
Oh,
Yeah.
was there.
was he? Sounds good.
Charlie, who do we have present tonight at the meeting? Members,
We have Dennis, Frank, and myself.
okay. So I make the quorum for,
Yes, you do.
okay, all right, thanks.
Yep, no problem. Okay, so minutes are all set. So, Mr. Radigan,
yes.
how's it going?
Good.
Excellent. What can we do for you?
To extend my permit to another piece of property adjacent to mine.
Okay.
So Charlie, in your packet, you have the stormwater report too.
Okay.
All right, when you say adjacent to, is it a separate piece of, is it a separate parcel, Glenn?
Yes, it is, Kirk. That's why I'm applying for a new permit.
Or you're applying for a new permit?
New permit.
Which
What's
parcel is it? If you don't-
3-9, I think. 3-8 is where my house is on.
So it'd be to the left of your house or right of your house?
Directly behind my house.
Directly behind your house, okay.
Yeah.
Was that formerly owned by your dad? Is that what you're doing, or is it?
That's correct.
Okay.
11-acre
done for-
parcel.
Okay. All right. Have you been to the selectmen yet, Glenn?
No, this is my first stop, Kirk.
Okay. Conscom, they chimed in yet? Or are you just gonna wait on us?
Excuse me?
Conservation Commission, have you been to Conservation?
I've been on a walkthrough with the Conservation Commission. A couple
All right.
members.
Charlie,
Yes.
we really, I mean, you can hear Glenn's presentation, but conservation's final ruling is gonna have to be part of our decision making, so we really can't permit it without conservation first.
Okay.
Is this a public hearing? Is this a presentation?
It's a public hearing. It was advertised and the notices went out to the neighbors.
Do we have to open a public hearing? Okay.
So, you need to take a vote to open the public hearing.
Yep. And do we have our little, okay. At this point, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we open the public hearing for Mr. Radigan.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yep.
Great. And yeah, Kirk, thank you. So public
Yep.
hearing is open. Just waiting for our little
Do we know?
advertisement.
Sorry.
It's all good. No worries. I don't think I didn't see it happen.
Actually, I didn't read your packet, Charlie. I have it. I can read it from the newspaper.
Sounds good.
All persons deemed interested, a public hearing will be held on Tuesday, January 24th, 2023 at 6:30 PM or as soon thereafter as the agenda allows. before the Templeton Planning Board, acting under the Templeton zoning bylaws for a request by Glenn Radigan for a site plan and stormwater review for gravel pit expansion of Brooks Village Road, map 3-0.
I'm on. So,
Parcel 8. All interested parties who wish to be heard shall be heard. All relevant documents are available for review and located in the Office of Development Services. That's it.
Excellent. Okay. So I get, you want to give a little quick rundown just of what, where, so it's 11 acres behind your property now?
Yeah.
Is there any activity on there as it?
None. None.
Okay.
access will be granted.
What's up?
Access is going to be, I'm assuming, right through Glenn's already, correct?
Access through yours?
Excuse me?
You'll still use the same access you're using now, right?
Right, same access. There's nothing has changed. It's just that the gravel permit we have now is at the end of my property. Okay, and the adjacent parcel carries the same esker that we've been
Yep.
chasing. So what we're doing
Yep.
now is applying for another permit to go onto the other property.
Okay.
Okay.
Because the permit I have now is still active on my parcel, but I want this permit for the other parcel.
So pretty much all we're responsible for is the stormwater on this, right? Because planning, the select board has to do the actual gravel permit, correct, Kurt? And then
Selectmen
just-
do a gravel permit. We do site plan review as far as for the stormwater management, what have you, and of course
Right.
conservation, their
Right.
wetlands, buffer, so on and so forth. But we can't really do, Glenn, I'm sure you understand, we can't do anything because conservation is going to draw their lines where they feel fit. If it does apply, it doesn't apply, and then we can, adjust accordingly. Who's your design engineer for it? Is it Chris
Chris-
Mossman again?
Chris Mossman, yep.
Okay, all right.
Do we
So
have to
he's really
send,
gonna have to.
yeah,
What's
do we
that?
have to
Sorry.
do we have to send stormwater to peer review?
Yeah, well, depending on what Chris proposes, it's a separate parcel, so it's going to have to hold its own water on its site.
Yeah.
You can't share stormwater from one parcel to the next parcel.
Yeah.
Um,
We have a pretty
So-
extensive stormwater report on here.
okay. From who? From Chris Mossman?
Trowbridge Engineering LLC.
Yeah, that's
is
Chris
okay.
Mossman. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But we need to wait. I would just extend it until
We get from
extend the public
conservation.
until he's through with conservation. Yes.
Sounds good. So you said you've walked through with conservation. Are you on their agenda?
What was it? We needed a DEP number. from them?
So I'm the conservation agent in town. We did receive Mr. Radigan's application for an NOI. It was submitted. It went off to the state to be, to get a file number. It was received today and we were trying to get him on the February, meeting.
Okay.
But, a pre-walkthrough was done, but the other members still need to do a walkthrough. And a determination by the state and the local conservation still has to be reviewed.
Okay. Yeah. I assume so. Okay. Yeah, that's a normal procedure. So, and then we adjust from there
Sounds
because
good.
we'd have to put any restrictions from Conscom. If there is there any, I'm familiar with the parcel, but I can't think off the top of my head with what's out there, wetlands, and whatnot. But that has to apply towards our permit as well in our stormwater permit. They're going to do peer review. They're going to be, assuming probably with Nimbingham or whatever, but they're going to take conservation's ruling into effect, when it comes to the placement of the stormwater management areas, and whatnot.
Right.
So,
Right. So at this point, it basically sounds like we're just going to continue the public hearing, wait for conservation and
yeah.
everything
But I
else.
would probably, rather than meeting in 30 days, it's probably going to take at least 60 or 90 by the time it gets through conservation. So I'd go at least 60, barring the ruling from conservation and public hearing. So 30 is not enough. I would say go 60 days as far as to extend it out. Just for that reason, because by the time they get their ruling, go through DEP and get any type of public hearing, it's gonna be all of that, but I wouldn't go too far just in case they say there's no
Right.
issues and you don't wanna hold Glenn up, you know?
Right. And
So.
Unless you wanna go 30, you just rule it, just continue it after that 30 days, but it becomes cumbersome because if we have nothing else on the agenda, the
we have
board
to
members
convene
gonna
it, right,
just to do it, then that's not, fair to us as just, volunteers, what have you. So, I think 60 days is more than fair. I don't know, Glenn, how you feel about that?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. That's my 2 cents anyways, Charlie.
yep, no, that sounds good.
I'll make a motion then that we continue the public hearing until, for the next 60 days, for 60-day
Well,
period.
Do we have a,
whatever,
do I say, do we have a specific date? So that way we'll do,
we're like end of March. 'Cause
right,
we're at end of June now. So whatever our last meeting in March should be.
Pulling up a calendar. So,
what
the
this,
21st of March.
right, because we meet on the second. No,
Well, that's our second meeting in March. How many Tuesdays are there? We'll be the second and fourth, so.
I was saying this because there's four Tuesdays in March, so it wouldn't be actually the 28th, because it's second and fourth.
28th, you're right.
It don't have to be 60 days. I'm just thinking 2 months
No,
out.
because we
I mean,
want to set it on an actual planning board meeting, so I would say if we go to
But
March
that's-
20th.
so our second meeting in March.
Second meeting in March.
We meet twice a month, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just for our second meeting in March, that's close enough.
Back to you, Dennis. So just make it for the
Okay,
28th of March.
Correct that motion to say that we will continue the meeting for Mr. Radigan's application until the
8th of March.
28th of March.
Excellent. Perfect. Do I have a second? At 6:30.
At 6:30.
Sounds good. Do I have a second on that?
Okay.
Frank, thank
Yep.
you. I've got a motion on the table. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Bye. Bye.
Excellent. Sounds good. It's been-
On votes, do we have to do a roll call vote for?
So usually what I do is anybody on the phone, I make sure I call them, but
Okay.
anybody on the board itself, I just kind of do
Okay.
like we used to do. I think that,
It's a roll call, as long as.
I got it.
perfect.
Okay.
Excellent. Sounds good. So we'll see you then.
Okay,
So thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay, moving right along. We've got our A and
Hold
R.
on.
Hello, how's it going? So I know there was some questions the last time on the plans.
And Mr. Matusewicz will have to answer those questions for you as you go through your checklist.
Sounds good.
Bill, do you need a copy?
Yes.
There you go. I also didn't, Mr. Matusewicz provided a check, but I didn't put it through the system because I was a little confused about
What?
how that's actually gonna work.
Sounds good.
No, it's definitely.
Okay. You want to give us a little heads up of what it is that you're looking at doing?
All we're doing is separating a portion of the golf course land
Mhm.
from our residents.
Mhm.
We're not changing names, we're not selling it,
Just moving.
just moving it.
Okay. And so where the house is now will be left with 1.36 acres?
Correct.
Okay. And looks like plenty of frontage. Now, what you are splitting off from that is going to be attached to the golf course, so that's
Right.
Okay,
My question was, does it have to be merged? Because if it's not merged, it leaves a lot with no frontage.
right, because that was our question before.
Right.
Right. According to the engineer, the land is contiguous with the rest of the land, so it's in the same names.
right,
I mean, there's no other
right.
ownership.
But I think just as long as it does have to be attached to the other
It-
property, right?
It
which-
is, yeah.
Okay,
The land, if it's a separate deed, you can't landlock it.
right, but I don't think it's going to be, it looks like the land's being, moved from one lot and just attached with the other lot. So it does,
Is it
it's not
being-
actually creating any lots, it's just moving land from one lot onto another lot.
So Billy, you're separating your house from a bigger parcel, correct?
Right.
And then, so the remaining land, which abuts the golf course land, is gonna be part of the golf course land now. You're gonna erase the property line, so it won't be two separate deeds anymore?
That's correct. And when you say erase, what do you mean?
Just the line, just basically just moving the line from where it is now.
So it
Because right
makes
now,
it-
it's two separate,
Well, it's two
Right now,
separate
two separate
lots, but it's gonna continue to be two separate lots. It's just, they're taking
but his
land
house will be
from,
one lot. His
What's
house
that?
will be one lot. His house will be one lot, the remaining land will now become golf course land.
right, but I think that is the house, is the house already a separate lot? Okay, it's not. So it is creating one lot.
Right.
Okay, sorry, that was my confusion. I thought it was already two separate lots. Okay, that was my confusion.
But the actual layout of the golf course is on this, the 13th green is right on that same parcel,
Okay,
which is part of the golf course. I don't know why it would be any different. It says right on the print, the engineer wrote it. Remaining land has over 900 feet of frontage and about
110 acres.
110 acres.
Okay,
Oh, okay, so it's part of the golf course land.
Right,
correct.
right.
Okay. Oh, okay, but I was told that the remaining land was gonna be no frontage, that's why I said, well, you can't do that, Okay,
Right.
so if
They are
It's not
separate
frontage.
parcels. Just want to be clear. There's 3 separate parcels.
I was like, so I have the other,
Actually, there is about 5 different parcels by the
Right.
time you get to the actual golf course building.
I just want to be careful, that's all. I don't discount anything he's saying.
Yep.
This is the parcel this is the house.
Mhm.
This is the rest of that parcel. This is that triangle parcel, and that's the bigger parcel with the golf course. I know it's all contiguous,
right, but
But I just wanna
technically,
make
Just
sure
adding this parcel.
that I'm not
To the-
reading.
I think it's this back parcel here.
What does this represent? Well, that's that separate house, right? The Thomas James Smith house.
No, I think that one's right here. That's up here. So this is all backland.
Okay.
Cal, you have 21 days to act on it. So if there's any confusion, you have to vote on it at the next meeting.
Right, well, I'm just trying to get it all cleared up. I mean, if we can get it cleared up tonight,
I think we can, yeah.
might as well just try to see if we can do that.
Yeah. I mean, Billy knows, and the engineers know, you can't create a landlocked lot. So if you're not doing that, and his statement says that there's the remaining land that's in question has 900 feet of frontage, and I'm gonna assume it has
This is
900 feet
the
of frontage.
Right.
Okay.
It does say it on the plan.
Yeah, so I mean, I can,
What is the yellow thing there? though? That's
would be another. So are they, with this plan, are they combining the rest of the lots all into one? So will the golf course all be on one lot?
Yes,
Because as long as it's all combined onto one and there's frontage and it's all, then it's fine. It's just as long I don't see any problem with it as long as they're all connected.
well, just a point of interest, when we built the golf course, we combined 4 or 5 different lots, and maybe 3 of them never had frontage.
Right,
So it
then-
become one,
We're actually looking at.
exactly. Because that's what we're looking at. There's like a little triangle piece and then the other one. So,
49 acre parcel right next to that with no frontage, but it is the golf course now,
Right, okay,
And the course sits on 150 acres.
right?
Yeah.
So,
And it has enough frontage
right.
with the 150.
So I feel
So
like,
now-
maybe- go ahead, Kirk.
So, if, Billy, are they all the same entity? Oh, is it you and your wife that own them personally, or is there an entity that owns all the parcels, or are they separate owners
we own all,
registered?
Yeah.
Okay, but, okay, so your names are on all the parcels, correct?
right, right.
Okay, so it doesn't matter, Charlie, because common
Right.
ownership parcel, if and it's just a hypothetical. If something was to be done later on, it would have to be done, it would come out at that time, because with common ownership of multiple parcels, there's no grandfathering in. It automatically becomes one, and everything would have to be applied by the
Exactly.
regs. So,
Yeah,
so he's fine either way.
yeah, so I think all
And
this,
the town's fine too, as long as all the other deeds are owned by, have common ownership, then it's fine. Like I said, Billy, not beating you up, I'm not looking at the plan either, but
no,
we're good.
Right.
yeah, no, it
I'm
does,
fine.
all looks good, so I think everything's okay.
Right.
So let's go down the checklist. 4 copies of Plan A.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. So, okay, identification of plan by name of owner and record. We've got that on there. Statement approval under subdivision control. That's on there. Zoning classification. RA, yes, that's on there, RA1. Case of creation of new lot and remaining land. Yes, we went through that. We beat that up. Notice of any decision. Non-applicable. Names of butters, we do have those on there. Distance to nearest permanent monument. Looks like we've got quite a few. Location of all existing buildings, that is on there. And location of any easement, which I don't believe there are any on there.
No,
Okay, perfect. So 4 copies of Form A, 4 copies of A&R notice stamps, okay. Description of lots,
Yes.
and
Do you have a check for $300?
was it, because I do
It is
create a
creating,
new lot,
right, I just
Right, it
want to
just-
verify. it with
yeah.
you.
but it was so we'll go with the one,
One.
perfect. All lot of butts a qualified way, we've got that. All lots have adequate frontage, which is that. Vital access to each lot, which we have that. And all lots have adequate acreage, which they do. Perfect. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the plans as submitted.
I'll make a motion that we approve the plan as submitted.
And a second. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And Kirk?
I'm not looking at the plan, so I'm not gonna vote
Abstain.
yes or no.
Okay. Abstention. So,
I'm fine with either way.
yeah, no problem. Perfect. So they are approved. So you're all set. Thank you very much.
I'll get these right on. We'll get that one. Thank you.
Somebody, are we gonna get a full signature?
I don't know if we necessarily need 4 signatures as long as we have,
Adjournment. That's how I set it up with the registry.
Right.
You need the majority of the board of the quorum. So I think
Right.
3 is sufficient, but if not, I can still sign it.
This one? Oh.
say, is the 24th.
Oh, Frank, I don't understand.
Is he? Okay, we'll let him. One more point. Right?
This one too. You just want to sign like. Magically.
Well, does this have to be in black?
No,
Yeah,
it
but
just
we
has
just
to
keep
be on
those.
black on the Mylar.
Okay.
You.
Charlie, you still there?
I didn't run away yet, thinking about it, but I haven't
All
yet.
right.
We're just signing
All right, what's
everything.
going on?
We get the last one.
All right.
We're gonna be,
Heading on to Templeton Green LLC.
one more signature and we're good to go. Okay, moving right along. So Royal Sun Cannabis LLC.
Is this a public hearing?
Yes, actually, so we
It's
continue it.
continued.
So do we have to reopen it? No, because it's continued, right? So we're,
Oh, wait.
we reopen?
You open it, we
We're good to go,
close
right? Okay. Lori will catch it. She's good like that.
So you want me to kind of go into an overview
Sure.
first, or? All right, I'll start with the big pictures. So, what we're trying to do is open up a retail store, adult use for cannabis.
Mhm.
And also that under Royal Sun Cannabis. And then we have another company called Bud Runner, which will be a delivery company. So there'll be two companies under the same roof. And that's the wonderful spot right there, and you guys all know it as Camelot before. I do owe you another plan that will show traffic.
Okay.
Parking.
Okay.
I just was waiting until we kind of went over the waivers.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a all-inclusive site plan, so. So this was a plan that was done before that kind of just shows where the building location is. One thing I would point out is we're real close.
Yep.
Construction. So it's pretty much all pavement right here, and then this is a wooded area. And then there's a current entrance right here and another entrance right here. Our plan would be to kind of close this curb cut a little, so you don't have such a wide open area of cars, kind of have some direction of some cars.
Mhm.
There's gonna be a rotary right here, as y'all know. So Mass DOT is actually gonna close, right now, we have an opening here, they're gonna close this opening. And then there was always another opening here, so we'll just take down the chains.
Okay.
Or actually, those chains they're taking down. And then, so just to have basically an access that will go here. You've seen the plan, I really want to have a drive-through, I think that will help us versus Gardner. There's a store going in Gardner, there's gonna be another store, I believe, next to 99 in Gardner. And then there's a store in Hubbardston. And as I think you all know, I think there's 3 stores in Winchendon. So it's getting a little crowded, but I think there's only one other company I know of, or 2 companies. One is Theory Wellness that has a drive-through, and they're nowhere around, so that would be, I know there's been some.
Well, so that's in the village district, correct?
Yeah,
So I don't know if I don't believe drive-throughs are allowed in the village district.
all right.
They are,
Yeah,
it's not fast food.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry.
So it's just,
You'd have to check with building commissioner on that, his interpretation of it, but, drive-throughs are allowed, just not fast food.
right, because we
I
actually
think
said
the way-
banks, correct? Could have a drive-through.
Banks, yes,
we'll have
banks
to-
are one that have drive-throughs. I didn't, of course, this issue was never a topic at the time, so, I still have, Mr. Hanks, chime in on it.
Okay. We'll get some
Yeah,
clarification
I
on
have a
that.
copy of it if you want to just have it there. You guys want it, or?
Sure, if you got one, absolutely, doesn't hurt to.
Yeah, so the way that I was reading it,
It's been a while since I've reviewed it, so absolutely.
No, I have plenty.
the way that I was just reading it is, in section at 3.62, it says allowed uses by right. And then it just says retail sales, and it lists a whole bunch of different businesses. And then in a different section, 3.6.4, non-residential uses, list out a whole bunch of others, and then it lists out, restaurant and restaurant fast food, but drive-ups, customer service facilities are prohibited. So figured if retail sales were prohibited from having a drive-through, it would actually say that next to that. So it's the same thing like the bank. The banks can have a drive-through. It should actually kind of say it next to it. And it's in a different section, but I don't want to come in and fight you guys. on it,
That's,
so
yeah, no, that's,
if you guys are really opposed to it, we can, some not we can talk about. I don't want
yeah,
to come in.
and
here
again,
be
that's
like,
kind of,
"I gotcha."
yeah, no, and that's kind of a, building, the commissioner's
Yeah.
like purview, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
so it's, this is the actual floor layout. So it's pretty straightforward.
so is it this all in the existing building, or is there any new construction?
The new construction would be the actual drive-up windows.
Okay.
So right now, there's a slope
Mhm.
that goes to this outer wall. So you can't really have a car drive up to the building like a drive-through that's part of that. So you have to kind of bring the drive-through out about, it shows 5 feet, but I think it's about 6. That's pretty straightforward. The customers would come in here. They go through here. There's actually a security desk that's here. So someone's gonna have their ID checked, and they generally get buzzed in. And then here's just a large retail area. So we'll have some displays. So you walk in, there's glass displays that you can look at. So customers aren't actually allowed to touch anything in the store. So nothing really gets opened in the store.
Mhm.
Some dispensaries have like a thing where you can open up a jar and smell. So I don't know if we'd actually really do that. So this is the public area right here, and then that walk-in. This is gonna be our delivery company office for Bud Runner. So believe it or not, it has to have separate security system, everything. It's a separate company.
Mhm.
CCC is pretty strict. That reminds me, the other thing I didn't turn in is you asked for a security plan. So we just don't turn our security plans in with special permits because it's a public record. So what I've done in every other town is, because every town says the same thing, they say, turn your security plan in. And then we generally talk to the chief of police and they say, don't do that. But, I don't have problem showing it to you guys.
It makes sense. It's,
Yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. And then back here you have, this is all public space, and then behind the counter is all non-public. So the bathrooms are staying in the same place. During the day, we have a vault, which, is secure, holds everything. Only so many people are allowed in the vault. So what we do during the day is we take out, what we think we're gonna need, leave it in the inventory room. And there's 2, like little counters. So somebody would be in the inventory room. Someone puts on their iPhone, they order. So
Mhm.
they're preparing the orders so that they're, people can just come in and grab the order or go through the drive-through and grab the order. And then this person in the inventory room also feeds all these customers. So, you'll have what they call bud tender, which is like a teller.
Mhm.
So people come up and then the bud tender comes over here and basically will get the, unless, sometimes we'll keep supplies here as well. And the favorites that people have that we know they're gonna be buying, so then they just walk here. At night, everything's locked up. We have a security company, either American Alarm, there's 2 different quotes we're going with. So we use American Alarm in our Royalston cultivation site, not up and running yet. Then we use a different company in Hubbardston, which is up and running. So that's kind of the layout of the store. Is there any questions at all, or?
I'm at the matter, I just have a couple questions.
Yep, I'm just gonna hold on one quick second. Any questions on the board at this moment, or are we good? Okay, one quick second.
I just, can we go back to the lot plan, the original?
Thank you. That one.
Yeah.
Right.
You were talking about a second entrance from 101, is that correct?
So is 101?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that would be
Correct.
the Gardner Road.
Yeah, so right now there's an entrance right here.
Yeah.
And there's also another entrance right here that has the.
Is there not a little house there or something, or is that down?
No, this is like a Verizon or. Are you talking about this right here or?
I think the house you're thinking about, Dennis, is a little further down.
Is
from
that,
that parcel.
okay, that's what I,
There's a
okay,
house right here.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
what I wanted to clarify, because I see the other thing on the map there, okay. So that just goes into the parking lot then,
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
It's already there. If you ever drive by, there's a chain that goes on.
okay,
there's a chain
maybe
there
I
right
just
now.
never noticed that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's actually, there's all, I get, as long as I can remember, there's been two entrances. Mass DOT is close.
Yeah, now that you mentioned, I think you're right, I think there was another, okay. Okay,
Yes.
that's,
Yes, you had a question?
Yeah, I just wanted the hours and the traffic.
All right, that's awesome. So the hours right now, we're kind of keeping it open, saying maybe 9 to 10. But this place dies down at night.
Yeah.
So I'm really thinking 8 would be kind of the latest at night. But I'm just gonna kind of leave it open with the board till 10 in case we, Gardner, I don't think is that busy, so I'm gonna, before I open, I'm gonna go sit over in Gardner and see what they're doing. But this place shuts down early, there's not too many people just driving around the streets. So it could be a situation where we close the store at 8, but we keep open delivery until 10. So that could be something, and it might be that we don't open until 10 in the morning, so it could be 10 to 8. That's my guess.
Okay.
But I kind of want to leave it open, just with approval with them until 10 o'clock at night. And we're open 7 days.
And then the traffic, as it is, I have a hard time getting out of my driveway. Is it gonna
Yep,
create much of a problem?
So we did a traffic study, and it shows that a max time is between 4 and 6 p.m. That's generally like the peak. So out of that 2-hour period, our traffic engineer thinks the max that we'd have is about 33 cars. So about 16 or 17 going in, 16 or 17 coming out. To give you an idea, I think there's about 8,000 to 10,000 cars a day that go through that area. So, we're hoping, at most, we're bringing in 200. And that would be aggressive. I'd be really happy. I just don't think, in the beginning, there was a lot of traffic concerns with all these stores that came out. If you are concerned with traffic, just go sit over at our Garden Remedies or whatever that, I think it's Sanctuary in Gardner. And you'll kind of see what traffic they have. And then we're guessing we do maybe 75% of what they do. They're in a real good location. In a lot of traffic.
And I will say, I can speak to that because I work right up the street from that. So I drive by several times a day. They actually tend to be busy. There's usually people waiting, but there's never, you don't see traffic out into the road, things like that. It's, and they have a smaller parking lot than what you have over here.
Yeah,
So you have a pretty large, because again, it was obviously a big facility before. So there's ample parking, at the facility.
Yeah, I don't think it's the days of, long lines of cars are
That's-
over. So just to kind of give you an idea, when everything was making the paper, there was only 10, 15 stores open on the East Coast, not just Massachusetts. There's gonna be 500 stores by the time we're done. Now there's about 260 open. And it's just gonna be kind of like, there's gonna be 2 in Gardner, 1 in Arlington, 3 in Winchendon.
And do we know when the rotaries actually, when the construction's supposed to be started on that?
I got 2 different answers on it.
Yeah.
I got a year. It wouldn't start until next year. So they'll miss this entire construction season.
Okay.
So apparently they don't work over the winter, so I'm not.
I've been hearing about this rotary for probably at least 10 years, so maybe a lot. So that's why I was like,
The easements.
they have, okay,
Yeah,
So, I mean,
it is.
moving forward.
yeah, they literally just, once they did the easements, they told me that then they have to put it out to bid.
Mhm.
So I was on the phone with one guy and, he's like, oh yeah, they're trying to get it for this summer. And then another guy's like, there's no way that they're doing it this summer.
Yeah.
Cause I was asking him, was like, well, are we gonna have construction on our grand opening day?
Right.
And I don't think so. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, so lighting signage, are you looking, I'm assuming you'll be putting a sign up someplace out front.
Thanks for bringing that one up. And that just completely went over my head, so I'll have to update you guys on that.
Okay.
We definitely want a sign.
Okay.
Originally, I wanted to call it Stonies. That's has too much of a negative connotation, so.
Now, are you looking to do like an illuminated sign or like, we're not talking like flashing neon, right? Or
No, you're just bringing this up to me. Now I have to look at what your sign says.
correct.
And I have to look at what the Cannabis Control Commission says. I think they might have something up that says we can't have a sign lit up after we're closed.
Okay.
It could be, they have their own rules.
Okay.
So I have to kind of dig into that, but completely over my head. I didn't think about it.
And
And the lighting.
Right.
So right now, there's lighting on the side of the building. So we're gonna see what our security company says. So all the cameras that we use are night vision. It actually looks like clear as day, pretty impressive. So I don't think we're gonna really light it up. And in terms of the parking, we're not parking so far away from the building that we have to worry about lights for the parking lot.
Right.
So,
like you said, you're expecting at most like 15 cars at a time.
yeah, that's
No,
during
like-
peak, like,
right.
well, that's per hour. So they're guessing 7, I would say, upwards of 20 cars, 20 customers per hour.
Mhm.
But they're there only for 15 minutes, 10 minutes maybe.
There are lights attached to that building that light up, they illuminate the whole parking lot on both ends.
Perfect.
There's one on the North Main Street side, and there's also one that is facing 101.
That's funny. I was actually going to ask you because I had a feeling you might know about that.
There's also across where Scott's Garage is, there's a big beacon over on that side that flashes over, and then there's an overhead light over by Crossroads.
Okay.
And that also, we had plenty of illumination.
Perfect.
Right, but that's a good answer. All right, so any other questions on the plan, the site plan, or the plot plan, I should say? I'm coming with a real.
Yeah,
site.
Charlie,
Yes, Kirk.
the hours need to be determined and not just left open. So they need to commit to hours, not at this meeting, maybe the next meeting, but that'll be part of the permit.
Right. Well, I think that's
Not
what he
gonna
was.
leave anything to-
Right. I think that's what he was getting at
Yeah.
was, setting it to up to 10 o'clock and then he can always, shorten hours, but he couldn't add on.
And as far as the illuminated signs, I would recommend that they basically get shut off at the end of business. So the neighbors can have a little bit of control over the light in their own neighborhood as best they
Right.
can.
Yeah.
So just a couple of quick notes from the conversation.
Yeah. That's
But the hours on it need to be on the permit, not just we want
correct.
to change when we want to change.
Correct.
Just, okay.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you. Trying to think, anything else from the audience? Dennis?
Looking at
What
this,
are the boards have they gone to so far? Where they stand in their permitting?
The other boards? Was that,
Where are they standing in their permitting as far as other boards they visited and what have you?
So we
Is it
just had
straight, is it straight? Right,
conservation just do their walkthrough for
Mhm.
like the building permit. But do I need any other? I don't think I need any other boards. or anything.
yeah,
Conservation found no wetlands issues.
okay.
and again, this is a by right, correct?
By right.
So just, okay. So
and
Dennis,
the one thing here is just looking at this, I don't know how we want to interpret that.
well, again, it's not up to us to interpret that.
Yeah, I know, the building inspector would have to make that, I guess, determination finally.
Yep. Yep, so that's up to
What?
him. They just
That's
the,
on the customer service window.
yeah, just there was a question on the drive up or the drive through, but we said that's obviously a building commissioner.
Did I hear you say you're
Zoning.
doing away with an entrance or an exit or something, or what's the primary entrance gonna be? Entrance, exit,
It's gonna be off of 101. You said because,
the exit, the entrance,
There'll be an entrance here,
On-
and there'll be another here.
right, so one on 101 and then one on North Main Street. Basically where they are
what,
now, but they, so
in
they,
and out on both?
is it gonna be in and out on both?
Yeah.
Yes,
Kind of split the traffic up.
Do you have a separate exit for your drive-through?
No, so, the drive-through just, how it's, gonna work is people can drive in and out here. Here or. in and
Is it-
out here. And then the drive-through, how we break that, and then there'll be parking here, so people can either access the drive-through here or here. Then they can, leave either one.
Okay, so it's not gonna be around the building, it's just gonna be on one side of the
So
building.
you can drive this way, so you're gonna have, it's gonna be, this isn't actually here. So it's kind of just a loop that you'll do.
Okay.
And I'm finalizing that with I just wanted to go over all the waivers as well before.
Charlie, where is the drive-through proposed with the actual window itself?
On the side of the, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it to you.
Side facing the parking lot,
Yeah, the side of the building facing the parking lot.
like the big parking.
Is that on a, downhill gradient?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where my kitchen used to be.
Tommy said where his kitchen used to be.
Okay. The grade going down to 101, I think is gonna be an issue in the wintertime. As far as, I'm not sure if how you're gonna do that with, snow and ice and what have you. If we want cars entering and exiting off of 101, in any type of volume, so to speak, I can see it icing up and somebody's gonna come sliding out of there. I know Tommy, not the same nature. I mean, it ran a little different business there. So you're gonna be looking at a steady flow of traffic, and I think you have too much of a grade going down to 101 where it should not be. The board needs to think about that a little bit before you just go and ink this permit. You might want to consider it one way as far as getting out of there, but the only trouble is that it's going against the grain of your proposed drive-through,
Right.
correct?
Just, hang on one second, Kurt. Just Tom.
The grade on 101, actually at the bottom of the driveway is a lot less I would probably say less dangerous entering Route 101 than it would have been if he used the top, because the top is where we had a bit of a grade where you might slip into 101. Down below is it's more leveled off.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Closer to Orchard Lane might be where you want to consider your.
That's where he's-
go.
That's where he's going. So
Okay.
yes.
The part closest to the building, I think, should be basically fenced in or re-fenced, or I can't think off the top of my head how you have it, Tommy, right now, but
They're closing it off
I
with
think
the,
that needs to be-
they're closing it off with the rotary.
What's that?
When they
Well,
put the rotary in
I
there.
wouldn't plan anything around the rotary right now. If he's gonna be running before the rotary, you can adjust it after the rotary if it ever comes. Don't forget, we're talking about the Commonwealth of Mass, Department of Transportation, okay?
Yes.
Sometimes I swear that they're his best customer, the way they do things. So, I would think that, let's design what we have right now. You can always modify it later. But for now, I think you need to, if you're gonna do an entrance exit onto 101, and what concerns me on the exit of 101 right there is that people are gonna have a tendency to take a left who aren't familiar with the area, because they're not used to entering 101 on that spot. So if anything, I would do enter on 101 and exit off of North Main Street. Reason, same thing we did with Cumberland Farms. It was a visual thing, it was a traffic thing, and we've never had any problems. We have 2 ways in and 1 way out. Never had an issue there because of visibility and common sense, so to speak. And I think it might be one more I consider for this facility as well, because exiting traffic onto 101, they still have to go to the stop sign anyways. So what the hell's the difference? They're still going to take a right. And if you go out on North Main Street, they're going to end up in the same spot.
Right.
So I think at least hustling the cars hustling all traffic on North Main Street, they can go right or left legally. I have a problem with cars going out onto 101 because it's a right turn only. What are they gaining other than just adding more cars to the stop sign right there? Or rotary when that comes, for that matter.
Tom?
Again, Kurt has a point, because many times when I would be out in my parking lot or in my front yard working, I would see people leaving Crossroads and just take that right hand turn.
Take it right, exactly.
And they
So
still
Tommy
do
knows what I'm
it
talking
today,
about.
so.
Yeah.
But then again, you got people who come off of North Main Street and go right through the one way, so.
It's,
No, I know.
It happens
But-
all the time. I experience that at least once a day, so, I mean, people just don't pay attention.
Do you have any hesitation with the?
But I think this way here, it actually, I think this way here, at least it preserves the ability, because I'm assuming you go to the drive-through, it's going to be the driver who's going up to the window. So at least you can get off 101 and still come up and do your thing. But that way too, hopefully with any luck, he does that good where it gives them more room to stack cars in the parking lot, because you can't go out that way anyways. You're not cross-mingling entrance
Right.
and exit.
Right.
It's entering only. So you can actually create more of a line, or off-site, get off the street, get into the parking lot, get in line, by doing so. That way, once they leave the window, they're up, they're going straight. They're not looping around the parking lot to go back out, bumping into somebody who's going around them.
Nope, I think that's actually a decent point.
So
Thank you for that
I don't know how
input.
much. I mean, does the board agree? That's just my opinion, but just look at it for what it's worth. Look long-term.
I think that's a valid.
Yeah, no, and the applicant, he's good with that too. Doesn't see any issue with that, so I think we'll put that in.
Or
part of the
user-
conditions.
For user-friendly business.
Yes. Okay. Any other thoughts, questions? On the board? Audience?
On to waivers.
Under waivers, is that all right?
Sure.
So my basic thing with the waivers is, the site plan is, it all, covers new construction and everything. So we are not, we're not doing anything to.
You knew it was gonna go.
You know what? That's it.
It was Lori. I know it was. I saw it.
Couldn't leave it down, but, we're, the site is, I mean, you guys all know the site, it's paved. So we're not doing anything with drainage or landscaping. So I was looking to try to waive, the topography and drainage plan. Simply because we're not changing anything and the drainage is there.
Existing.
The utility plan, we're not doing any extra utilities. A landscaping plan, I mean, the whole place is paved. So we're kind of stuck there, and the Mass DOT, whenever they get around to it, is taking out what used to be the Camelot sign.
Mhm.
And they're just like reclaiming that land.
Okay.
So we really don't have much, area except the existing grass. And then the last waiver was for the drainage calculations or storm drainage design, because we're not
Nothing's
changing.
really changing.
Yeah,
Right.
so that was it.
Yeah, it's pre-existing.
And,
Exactly.
I just didn't want to make the site plan and then come back and say I had to do all this stuff, so.
I
You
don't
want
see-
any sample plants out in the flower garden?
Well, why not? It'll be attractive little, does the board have any issues waiving those?
No, I think that's
No,
No, yeah,
reasonable.
yeah, that shouldn't be. a problem.
pre-existing.
Yeah, exactly. Existing lot, everything seems to be, it's always run pretty smoothly over there. So that shouldn't be a problem.
Alright.
So, anything else from the board? So, are we?
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
What's his next step? Selectman? For permit, or where do you stay? Or you have to go,
No,
where are you
'cause
in the
it's a-
pecking order as far as
it's a
permitting
bi-
through the
it's-
state and whatever?
It's by right, and he has to be permitted through the CCC.
Okay, so once you get through planning, then you gotta go to, campus, the control commission? Or once you go through selectmen for a permit?
No,
The selectmen
selectmen.
permit this?
No,
No,
because it's a by right.
and he already did his host agreement and all his other,
Okay,
meetings.
okay.
So I think it's basically just,
This is it.
Do we have to wait for a ruling on the window
I don't,
from the building inspector?
Now, what, striping in the parking lot, you're gonna be striping the parking lot for parking spots and, drive-through arrows, some signage or what have you? You go over
Yeah.
any of that, Charlie?
yes, yeah. So I think that's basically what we're at the point of conditioning everything now. So I'm assuming, is that what we're at? We're gonna be voting on this with, are we coming up with the conditions tonight and doing everything, or are we going to,
Well-
I
Plan,
would,
what's up, Kirk?
everything's shown on the plan that you've discussed, one-way traffic in,
No, so
arrows,
that's,
so on
so
and
I
so
think what we're gonna do is give the list of all the updates of what we're looking for, and then have the updated plan come back before us.
and get the.
Okay, so yeah, I would keep the public hearing open then, because we
Yeah.
can bring the fund,
Yep.
and then, along with his proposed hours, what have you. What's the applicant's name? I'm sorry, I keep calling him, whoever, whoever the,
Damon Schmidt.
okay. I would encourage you to bring a plan in, Damon, showing the, parking layout as well as the, one-way traffic in from the lower elevation that, Tommy was speaking about as well. But show some arrows. I like to see some arrows in the, on the pavement. And then some, maybe a couple of signs directing people up through, listing one way, like we did at Cumberland, Charlie.
Yes, I got you. Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds good.
If the board's, agreed
No,
to that.
that's pretty much what we're all looking to do. So, I think you have all your homework of what you need.
Yep.
And then we'll continue the public hearing. Do we want to,
I'll make a motion that we'll continue the.
do we have to set a date of when we're continuing this or just continue it?
How much time do you need?
My engineer is away at the moment, so he's gonna hopefully be back next week.
We want to do 30 days just so that
Just do the second meeting of next month, second meeting of February.
Yeah. So that would be the 28th.
The
Yeah.
21st?
I think it's gonna be the 28th because first is gonna be the 7th, so it's the 2nd and 4th. So yeah.
Oh,
the
sorry,
28th.
second, 28th, okay, February 28th.
Yeah.
All right, I make a motion that we continue the public hearing until the 28th of February.
Do I have a second? Got a
I'll
second?
second that. Yeah, I'll go.
Perfect. Any discussion? Seeing none,
Nope.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
7
Kirk?
o'clock? You do it 7
Uh,
o'clock?
6:30.
Because Radigan's on at 6:30?
Well, no, because that's in March. So he's
Oh,
the
okay,
only one, so
sorry,
we'll do
sorry, okay.
6:30. Yep,
Yeah, 6:30, fine, okay.
perfect. Sounds good. So we'll see you next month.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you
So
very
I'm
much.
coming on the 28th, or is it just extended until the 28th?
I come in on the 20th.
28th.
And if there's any
Public hearing's still
problems,
open.
we can extend it again, or if there's
Alright.
any, like, if you don't have everything, but
All right, do you have a meeting before that? If I get it done that I would come to, or?
no,
Nope.
because it's.
Oh, we'd have to schedule it now.
Exactly, yeah. So we're
Alright.
scheduled for
It would
that.
be the
So,
14th.
Yeah.
It'd be the 14th. If you think he's ready for the 14th, because today's only the 24th, so.
yeah, but if
Yeah,
if
let's
you're
go
not,
to 28th.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, perfect.
Bring us chocolates.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you, I mean, are these infused chocolates or? You might want to
Real
take it at the
chocolates.
end of the meeting. So, all right.
excellent. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Okay. And I think that's, any other new business? Seeing none? An entertain motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.